What's up, my people, sports fans all over the world. Welcome to another episode of the Certified Genius Podcast. I apologize for last week. I was under the weather. I had a sore throat. So we didn't get to recap week 16. But my Niners won, so that's all we care about, right? Anyways, welcome to another episode. This is where we break down week by week of the 2025 NFL season. Remember, this podcast is brought to you by Genius Minds. Remember, there's a genius in all of us, so find the genius within you. So here we are, live and direct from the Genius Mind Studios in Los Angeles, California. We're about to recap week 17. Season is almost over. We got one more game left. Week 17. And we're going to start with my Niners as usual. We had the Chicago Bears come into town on Sunday Night Football, national television, where everybody's watching. And my Niners won that game 42-38. The offense was humming. Brock Purdy was doing his thing. And what was even more impressive about our offense, we played without George Kittle, our Hall of Fame tight end. We played without Kittle, who was out with an ankle injury. And we also played without Trent Williams, our Hall of Fame left tackle. And to put up 42 points without those two Hall of Fame players, that says a lot about our offense. But with that being said, once again, like I've been saying all year long, our defense sucks. 49ers defense absolutely sucks. We can't stop a nosebleed. Now, thank God we got the stop at the end of the game to win the game. But even with that, I honestly don't think we stopped them. What happened was Caleb Williams threw the ball to the ground. Yes, he was under some pressure, but that's a pass he normally makes. And he had the receiver wide open. He also had another receiver on the far right end of the end zone, absolutely wide open. So yes, he missed the throw. And I'm guessing he didn't see his other receiver that was wide open on the far right end of the end zone. So technically, yes, we got the stop to win the game, but we didn't really get the stop to win the game. Caleb Williams just made a bad throw, threw the ball to the ground instead of throwing the ball to the receiver, who was wide open in the end zone. So the defense, the 49ers defense, and we have somebody named Robert Saleh that everybody is saying he's supposed to be a defensive genius. No. I'm the certified genius. I'm Coach G. I'm the genius. The G is for genius. Right? The G is for genius. I'm the genius. Robert Saleh, 49ers defensive coordinator. How can you be recognized as a genius if your defense can't stop a nosebleed? That's the part I don't get. All the analysts on television, all the coaches talking about Saleh like he's some defensive genius with a genius mind. No pun intended. Even though we're in the Genius Mind studios. Robert Saleh, come on. Come on. If you're supposed to be some defensive guru, why can't you devise a scheme or call the right play call to slow down the other team's offense? If you're supposed to be some defensive genius, like everybody, they're talking about him getting a head coaching job, I would be sorry for that team. I just don't understand how owners and general managers in professional sports reward mediocrity. Just based on what I'm hearing, that Robert Saleh might be a candidate for a head coaching job when he can't even do his job as a defensive coordinator. I don't get it. Now, it's easy to say, well, we're playing without Fred Warner and we're playing without Nick Bosa and blah, blah, blah. If you're supposed to be a defensive guru, I'm not saying you got to stop them on every play, but especially on third down, you can't devise a scheme or call the right play to get the team off, to get the other team, the opposing team, off the field on third down. It's just asinine to me. Absolutely asinine to me. So yes, my 49ers defense can't stop a nosebleed, but we did get the W. There I go venting again on a win. Even though we won the game, I'm venting because my defense is just not a Super Bowl winning defense. You got to be able to make stops. I don't care what sport you're playing. It shouldn't have to come down to the last play of the game. It's frustrating. But in the NFL, a win is a win is a win. So I give the offense its props. Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan for creating some amazing plays. Juwan Jennings, Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall. So we did our thing. Our offense was humming. So I'm going to give props when props is due. But nobody's talking about the defense. How atrocious this defense has been all season long. But they're talking about our defensive coordinator who can't devise a scheme to stop the other team. They're talking about him like he's some defensive wizard. And he might be a head coaching candidate. I feel sorry for that team. I feel sorry for that organization if you hire Robert Saleh after what you've seen from the 49ers defense this past year. It's just mind-boggling to me how people in professional sports they pay millions of dollars for mediocrity. It's just mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely asinine. You want to hire someone that's at the top of their game. Or at least close to the top of their game. Top 5, top 10. Our defense is in the bottom half of the entire NFL. Why would you want to bring in somebody that couldn't do their job? Would you do that at your job? Would you hire somebody that just stinks at their job? Would you do that? This is what these white men in professional sports do. They're all white people, right? The owners, the general managers, the majority of the coaches, they're all white people. This is what they do. They pay millions of dollars to individuals that are mediocre at their job. It's just mind-boggling to me. The sports world in the United States of America pay millions of dollars to bring in an individual that was mediocre at his job. And that's what I'm talking about. If any owners or general managers watching this, you need to hire me as a consultant. I am the certified genius. I am Coach G, your humble servant. Anyways, enough of me venting. Even though this is why I started this podcast, so I can vent. Vent about my Niners and vent about the mediocrity in sports. But I digress. Let's continue the show before I get canceled, before they ban me. But I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it G. But let's move along with our recap of the 2025 NFL season, week 17. Season is almost done. And then we get to the Monday night game last night that we watched. The Los Angeles Rams fly across the country to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. I was really disappointed in the Rams in this game. The Falcons won that game 27-24. The Falcons jumped on them early, quick and early. Score was like 21-3. Like boom, right out the chute. I don't know if the Rams took them for granted or what, but the Falcons jumped on them. But throughout the course of the game, the Falcons did everything in their power to let the Rams come back and win that game. The Rams eventually tied the game at 24. The Rams eventually tied the game. They came all the way back. And that's why I was really disappointed in the Rams. Matthew Stafford threw for 3 interceptions, which he normally doesn't do. But the Falcons did everything within their power to give the Rams the game. Their play calling on offense is just atrocious. Talking about the Falcons. Their play calling was all Bijan Robinson, who I love, by the way. Such a talented running back. He ran the ball really well. But that was pretty much it. Kirk Cousins is a shell of himself. It's just a mediocre quarterback. But the play calling was all Bijan Robinson, which is why the Rams got back into the game. Because they saw, okay, we got to take Bijan out of the game. And they still couldn't win the game. Nevertheless, I got to give props to the Atlanta Falcons for winning the game and for helping my Niners out as far as seeding, because the Rams are in the NFC West with my Niners. So, the Falcons won the game 27-24. Another game that I watched was the Philadelphia Eagles going in Buffalo. Going in Buffalo and beating the Buffalo Bills 13-12. Now that's what you call defense, right? That's what you call defense. Those defensive coordinators, they deserve a raise. Not my defensive coordinator of 49ers, Robert Saleh, who can't stop a nosebleed. But they're talking about hiring him for a head coaching job. Like, get out of here. I'm still venting. I apologize. The Eagles won that game 13-12. Josh Allen went for the 2-point conversion, going for the win at home. The receiver again was wide open. Josh Allen couldn't get him the ball. And they lost the game 13-12. In other games, we had the New York Giants going to Las Vegas, beating the Raiders 34-10. We have the New Orleans Saints going to Tennessee, beating the Tennessee Titans 34-26. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Indy, taking on the Indianapolis Colts and Grandpa Phillip Rivers. The Jags won that game 23-17. I was actually rooting for Phillip Rivers. I wanted him to get a win, but it just didn't happen. He has no velocity on his passes. It's kind of sad to watch. But he's always been like that, though, you know. Never really had a great arm. So the Jaguars won that game 23-17. Another game that I watched, the Seattle Seahawks going to Carolina, taking on the Carolina Panthers and blowing them out 27-10. I was hoping the Panthers could have find something in them to win that game at home, but Seattle wasn't having it. Their defense is legit. Seattle won that game 27-10. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Miami. Miami Dolphins won that game 20-17. 20-17, the Miami Dolphins. Then we have the New England Patriots. Drake May got his team rolling. The second-year quarterback out of North Carolina, Drake May, blew out the New York Jets 42-10. The New England Patriots are rocking and rolling. And then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Cleveland in a must-win game. Aaron Rodgers, it's time to send him out to the pasture. How do you lose to the Cleveland Browns 13-6 in a must-win game, Aaron Rodgers? Now I know you're going to say, oh, we didn't have DK Metcalf. So what? You're supposed to be the quarterback guru, right? The genius, the quarterback genius. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders. Aaron Rodgers, you got to find a way to win that game. I don't care where that game is played. Nevertheless, the Cleveland Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals going to Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals blew them out 37-14. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens going to Green Bay and beating the Green Bay Packers 41-24. I don't know what to think about Baltimore. Whenever I get down on them, they win. Whenever I get up on them, they lose. I don't get it. Nevertheless, the Baltimore Ravens went in Green Bay, which is not an easy place to play or win, and beat the Packers 41-24. Then we have the Houston Texans taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Texans won that game 20-16. Their defense is legit. The Houston Texans beat the Chargers 20-16 on the road. Unbelievable. Then we have the Denver Broncos. Went in Kansas City with no Patrick Mahomes. My homeboy is out. The Broncos won that game 20-13. We also had the Detroit Lions going to Minnesota and getting spanked. Minnesota Vikings won that game 23-10. What's going on, Detroit? Some ain't right. And then we had the Cowboys beating the Washington Commanders 30-23. So there you have it. You heard me vent about my Niners, and I gave you a recap of Week 17 of the 2025 NFL season. So there you have it. Welcome once again to the Certified Genius podcast, straight out of the Genius Mind Studios in Los Angeles, California. Remember, there's a genius in all of us, so find the genius within you. All right? This next segment is called Who You Got? And this is where we make our predictions for the final week of the season, Week 18. Unbelievable. This season, football season goes by so quick. So quick. But Week 18 is going to be a big week. Lot of things on the line. A lot of games on the line. And playoff seedings on the line in the last week of the regular season. Week 18, here we go. The biggest game is for the number one seed in the NFC. And guess who's playing? The Seattle Seahawks taking on my San Francisco 49ers. Saturday afternoon, live on national television. This is for all the marbles. This is for the number one seed in the NFC. The Seahawks, with a vaunted defense, coming in to try and slow down my Niners' vaunted offense. Who you got? I'm going to go with my 49ers to protect the house. I'm taking my Niners to protect the house. Who you got? Seahawks, 49ers, Saturday afternoon for the number one seed in the NFC. Who you got? Then we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. And they're both playing for the division. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to take Tampa in this game. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to protect their house and win that game. Taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Panthers. Who you got? Then we have the Cleveland Browns going to Cincy to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. I got the Bengals winning that game. Both teams are out of the playoffs, so no need to elaborate on non-playoff teams. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts going to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. I got the Houston Texans winning that game. Sorry, Phillip Rivers. Thanks for coming back, Grandpa, but it's not going to work. Your days are done. The Houston Texans wins that game. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys going to New York to take on the New York Giants. Two non-playoff teams. I'm going to take the home team to win that game. Going to take the Giants to win that game at home to end the season. Then we have the Green Bay Packers going to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to take the Vikings to win that game at home. I'm taking the Vikings. Who you got? Then we have the New Orleans Saints going to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take the Saints to win that game on the road. It's a short trip to Atlanta from New Orleans. There's going to be a lot of fans there, a lot of New Orleans fans making that trip. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints to win that game in Atlanta. Then we have the Tennessee Titans going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. I'm taking the Jaguars to win that game at home. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals flying to LA to take on the Los Angeles Rams, who just got embarrassed on Monday Night Football. The Rams are going to be pissed. This is going to be a blowout. I got the Rams at home blowing out the Cardinals. Then we have the Los Angeles Chargers going to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos. That's going to be a good game. I got the Broncos winning that game at home, protecting the house. Then we have the Kansas City Chiefs going to Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. No Patrick Mahomes on the road. I hate to admit it, but I'm going to take the Raiders to win that game at home. Then we have the Washington Commanders going to Philly, take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I got the Eagles winning that game. Who you got? Then we have the Miami Dolphins going to New England to take on the New England Patriots in Foxborough. My man Drake May. I got the New England Patriots winning that game at home. Then we have the New York Jets going to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are mad. They're angry after losing that game on Sunday, especially the way they lost it. I'm taking the Bills to blow out the Jets at home on Sunday. Then we have the Detroit Lions going to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. Something ain't right in Detroit this year. I'm rolling with the Chicago Bears to win that game at home. And then on Sunday Night Football, we have a big game. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. But I'm going to go with the home team. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win that game at home in Pittsburgh. Who you got? So there you have it. My predictions for the final week of the NFL season, week 18. Unbelievable. The season goes by so quick. They say time flies when you're having fun. It's been a fun season so far. And the playoffs is right around the corner. Makes it even more fun. Because it's win or go home. Or go camping. Go fishing. It's win or go home when the playoff starts. So this is it. One more game in the 2025 NFL season. It's been fun. It's been a doozy. Hopefully my 49ers can pull out this win and get the number 1 seed for the playoffs. But that's why they play the games, right? So yeah. Welcome once again. We appreciate everyone that tunes in. We really appreciate you. Remember, this podcast is brought to you by Genius Minds, straight out of the Genius Minds studios in Los Angeles, California. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Certified Genius Podcast, and I'll send you some free gears. We got hats, we got shirts, we got wristbands, we got hoodies. Or send me your email address and I'll send you some free gears. We got wristbands. All right. So thank you all for watching. And remember, there's a genius in all of us. So find the genius within you. Until next time, stay safe and stay blessed. Happy holidays and a happy new year. Peace and love.